And if even go back farther, we use that same chant, that same mode, to ask the questions in Yiddish. And I like to include the Yiddish. In a moment, I'll also include the questions in Ladino, the Sephardic. But here's how it was asked. 4 questions were asked in Yiddish, usually by the youngest child. Was ist die doslige Nacht von Pesach, anders von alle Nacht von a ganz Jahr. Alle Nacht mögen wir essen sein Chames, sein Matze, aber Halayla hazeh in der doslige Nacht nur Matze. Alle Nacht lassen wir Kohle grinsen, aber Halayla hazeh in der dosige Nacht nur Rohr, bloß bittere Kreitiger. Alle Nacht darfen mit ein Tunken auf viel einmal euch nicht, aber Halayla hazeh, in der dosige Nacht tunken wir ein zweimal. Alle Nacht kennen wir es und sie sitzen dich gleich, sei angelernt, aber Halayla hazeh, in der dosige Pesach Nacht, essen wir alle angelernt. And that last is that we lean, we are not only allowed to, we're actually asked to, commanded to lean as free people. We're able to relax. And that also might be a little difficult in these current times, but I think it's important to breathe, to stretch, and if you're able to, get up and walk around a little bit. It will help relieve some of the stress. So here it is in Ladino. Of course, that's the Sephardic. Now, I have both sides of my family, which means I'm Ashkefardic. I'm both Eastern European on my mother's side, and on my father's side, I am Sephardic, or Spanish Jewish. So it was a mixed marriage. That's what they used to say about that. By the way, I've been working on my genealogy, my family tree a lot lately because of having time. And I'm proud to say I'm back to Australopithecus on my father's side, but I'm stuck at Cro-Magnon on my mother's. Okay. It's hard to do jokes and not hear, so clap loud or yell or something. So here it is. Here are the 4 questions, las 4 preguntas, as they're called, and there are a few different Sephardic melodies. This one comes from the Isle of Rhodes, the island of Rhodes, near Greece. Cuanto fue de mudar a la noche la esta más que todas las noches, que en todas las noches que en todas las noches no nos contientes a filo ves una, y la noche la este 2 veces, que en todas las noches nos comienzos ledos se seño, y la noche la esta todo el se seña, que en todas las noches nos comientes resto de verduras, y la noche la este lechuga, que en todas las noches nos comientes y viventes, tanto asentados y tanto rescoldados, y la noche la este, todos nos rescoldados. Remains the same thing, the same 4 questions, but in the Sephardic chanting, I only do it once a year, so a little bit rough. Now, of course, we ask the questions, or the young children have asked the questions. We have to answer them, and we do that in a number of different traditional ways. I've just picked out the most musical ones, and one of them is the Abadim Hayinu, once we were slaves in Egypt, and it's got a tune. Once we were slaves, but now we're free. Once we were slaves, but now we're free. Once we're slaves, now we're free. We once were slaves, and now we're free. Once we were slaves, now we're free. We once were slaves, and now we're free. Avadim Hayinu. once we were slaves, and now we're free. That's basically the whole story. Of course, there are a few things in the middle there where, you know, the Red Sea parted, the Hebrews were able to walk on the dry land, and Pharaoh and his armies were drowned when their chariots got stuck in the mud. And of course, now we have another song, Dayenu. It would have been enough. I have the original, just a few verses that we sing, and there's about 20 verses to this. I'm only going to do 3 of them, or 2 or 3 of them. So, but it is a melody that people. By the way, feel free to sing along and clap along in your space there. You don't have to be afraid of singing, because I don't think anybody else is going to be able to hear you. Even if you don't think you can sing. And that's usually wrong. Everybody can sing. So do your best. Inu hotzi hotzi anu mi Mitzrayim hotzi anu mi Mitzrayim dayenu. Everybody, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Ilu natan natan lanu et Torah natan lanu et Torah dayenu, 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 dayenu. If we'd only got the Torah, sang our song and danced the Horah, got the Torah, danced the Horah, dayenu, 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 dayenu. If we'd only left Mitzrayim, fill a glass and shout b'chaim, left Mitzrayim, shout b'chaim, dayenu, 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 dayenu. Okay, it would have been enough, and I think that was. So, Dayenu, that's another way that we tell the story. I like to tell the story with as much music as possible, as those of you that have been to my seders know. And I don't know if you're having a virtual seder tonight. This is April 8th, so I'm recording it a little earlier, but the seder, as I said, well, it's going to be a little challenging, but there are some advantages. So one of them is you really don't have to go anywhere. Now, here is a old African American spiritual, and it was, of course, taken from our being rescued from slavery in Egypt. It was taken by African Americans who, of course, were enslaved for several hundred years in this country, and we don't know who wrote it, but we included in our Seder, I included in my Seder, because that we are honoring also others that have been enslaved, closer to our time, and anyone who is still living as a slave or not free anywhere in the world. And it's called Go Down Moses. When Israel was in Egypt land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. Go down, Thus spoke the Lord, bold Moses said, let my people go. If not, I'll smite your firstborn dead. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land, tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. No more shall they in bondage toil. Let my people go. They shall go forth from Egypt's soil. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. As Israel stood by the water's side, let my people go. By God's command it did divide. Let my people go. Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt land. Tell old Pharaoh, let my people go. Now, during the time when, well, there's still some Jews in the Soviet, in Russia rather, but during the time of Soviet domination of Russia and the other republics, we had a refusnik song, which was also "Let My People Go." And as soon as I find it, I will sing it for you. Here it is, in Russian, and it became popular in mostly 1970s amongst Jews who wanted to leave Russia and weren't being allowed to do so. So I'll sing that for you. Farahanu kevaryu, atpastina rahad moi. Farahanu kevaryu, atpastina rahad moi. Atpastina radyev resti, narodyen sayu. Atpastina radyev resti, narodyen sayu. Atpastina rod, atpastina rod, atpastina rod moi. Of course, that was just a little bit of, that was just the chorus. And what does it mean? It means, Pharaoh, let our Hebrew people go, and let them go now.